Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, welcome back to another exciting episode of the Colorado Comic Book Kid, coming to you almost live from the Centennial State. Thanks for tuning in. We have a great episode of weekend arrivals to show off today. 5 awesome books that I picked up this past weekend. I'm super excited to share. I'm going to kick things off with Avengers Volume 1, number 328. Where we get the origin story of Rage. This is a pretty cool story here. Captain America and the other Avengers get back from the other dimension where they were doing battle with the Unspeakable One, and they actually come back with Cha, and turns out Cha is actually working for the Unspeakable One. At the end of the book, she summons a bunch of monsters into our dimension. Unfortunate to find that out on the last page, but that's what the next issue is for. What I did like about this particular book is Captain America taking a moment there after the battle's over, when it's supposed to be some of the spoils of victory. He notices Rage sulking off into the background, so he wanders behind him and starts a conversation to figure out what's going on and let him know he's appreciative of the help that he brought. And that's when Rage tells his backstory of being covered in ooze and how perception plagues him on a daily basis, indicative of the social times, if you will. One thing I loved about this book is the opening splash on the 2-page. It's not the first page of the book, but it's the first full double page. And right first thing out of Captain America's mouth is Avengers Assemble. So that's great. Classic. Next up, Fantastic Four, Volume 1, Issue 273. If you saw one of my other B-sides and variants, you saw me show off Issue 272. So this is where Reed, Sue, She-Hulk, Johnny actually encounter Nathaniel and catch up with Reed's father, the Warlord. When I saw the title here, or the words coming out of Reed's mouth when I was in the store, I actually said, "It's the Warlord!" And I wasn't sure if people thought I was introducing myself or just overcome with joy that I had found something. Either way, I was happy to get out of there without further incident. I think this is a great cover. I love just the blue background there. A little bit of fun with shapes. We also figure out in this book that it doesn't take place thousands and thousands of years in the future, but it actually takes place on Other Earth in the year 1127, when you measure time after the first humans landed on Earth. That's when year 0 is. So a whole nother timeline going on here. Keeping things moving along with Fantastic Four. This is Fantastic Four Annual number 18. This is on the moon with, again, you've got Reed, you've got Sue, you've got She-Hulk, you got Johnny. But you also have these other characters that show up. Because what would be a party without Raxor the Skrull and Beldan the Kree? These two were last seen in X-Men 137. Their race war has spilled over into the wedding party. And so now they're in single-handed combat to determine the fate of their two races. Here at the end, the Fantastic Four trick these two into working together. Just goes to show there's more power when we're achieving a common goal. Even if that goal is striking down the Fantastic Four, it's a common goal, so we can still aim for something together. Raxor the Skrull and Beldan the Kree coming at each other in this pre-wedding party. Kind of rude. Thus, Black Bolt and Medusa never actually get married in this issue. Fourth one I picked up, Alpha Flight, Volume 1, number 39. I just love the team-up cover here of the Avengers and Alpha Flight. This came out October 1986. Modern age 75-cent cover. I'll be honest, I haven't read this one. I just thought the cover was so cool. They've got Puck on there. He's my favorite Alpha Flight character. Could have made this a wraparound cover. That would have been a lot cooler. Last but not least, Fantastic Four Volume 1, Issue 188. This is a great comic. Again, this is kind of the epitome of comic books, in my opinion. You have the Fantastic Four, right? Thing, Johnny, Sue, Reed, attacking Molecule Man. And Impossible Man's actually in this issue too. He takes his toys and goes home. He gets the hint. But everything you see here on the cover actually takes place in the book. Molecule Man makes a building come to life. Thing gets ensnarled in the cables of the air jet cycle that gets transformed by Molecule Man. Sue has to keep herself alive by forming that force sphere around herself. And it's actually Reed's body that is being overtaken by Molecule Man and his wand. So that plays into the whole storyline here. And in this issue, we also have Reed deciding to leave the Fantastic Four. And Johnny knows his sister will never let him do that alone. So he encourages her to go with him. And thus, Thing and the Human Torch are left looking for 2 new members to join the Fantastic 2 until they fill those other 2 spots. The Fantastic Four with vacancy? Wonder what you call yourself in that moment of need. Marvel 2-in-1? It is the world's greatest comic magazine. I'm excited to see it come back. This issue is from November 1977, so a Bronze Age 35-cent comic. I mentioned all the other Fantastic Four characters. I didn't mention what it is that Johnny does here that makes him so spectacular. He actually goes supernova inside an enclosed adamantium steel cage. So Molecule Man traps the Fantastic Four, or 3 of them anyways, inside this cube made of adamantium. And Sue wraps herself in the force sphere, and herself and Ben. And Johnny goes supernova, and the change in temperature of the air causes the sudden explosion that frees them. And I'm just thinking to myself, no way. That's exactly what I want to see happen in a comic book. Yes, please. So if there's any writers out there, take note. So those were 5 of the books that I picked up with the weekend arrivals. Wasn't on the hunt for anything specific. Came across these beauties though, and couldn't let them stay there in the store. Decided they needed a new home, and here they are, arriving safe and sound to the collection. Let me know what you think. Let me know if you found any new great arrivals this weekend. Thanks for tuning in. As always, I have an attitude of gratitude for those subscribes and likes. Remember, the best hunting is happy hunting. Until next time, Colorado Comic Book Kid, signing off.